Today, we're eating chocolate. We have a chocolate bar for $2 all the way up to $40, okay? And this is everything in between. So now I'm just gonna see how much difference there is between chocolates. So there's a $2 chocolate, $2.50, $3, $3.50, $4, $4.50, $4.50, $10, and $40. So let's see. And before we get started, not a sponsor, but Creme Brulee beer. So that's what I'm gonna be drinking today. It's a dessert stout, 7.2%. It's from Ontario. Caramel, salty. It has salt in it. A lot of salt flavor, like a salted, caramelly, creamy creme brulee. Also like a brown ale. I get a bit of toasted barley. So that being said, let's get started with the chocolate. First one we got Aero. It was $2. You know, Aero is always awesome for these bubbles. You know, make the bubbles pop in your mouth. Let's start with how it looks. I mean, it looks like Aero, looks smooth, nice. Has a very mild smell of chocolate. And it tastes kind of like chocolate, like sugary chocolate. And there's nothing bad about it. So let's move on to, we've got President's Choice, $2.50. So these are all milk chocolates, by the way. It's got kind of a cool design on it. Just a flat piece of chocolate bar. Looks nice. The chocolate smell comes out a bit more on this one than the Aero. So this one right away, the President's Choice chocolate tastes more like chocolate than Aero. Aero has a really sugary candy taste that has a hint of chocolate, but it doesn't really taste that chocolatey. Like you can tell it's chocolate, but this one actually has an upfront chocolate taste and it's creamy, and you get like that after taste in your mouth that chocolate gives you. So that's pretty nice. Next, we're moving on to the Hershey's. When I was in grade 3, I had a teacher named Miss Hershey. And I remember I had a crush on her in grade 3. So Hershey's versus President's Choice. I like how the President's Choice chocolate looks more than the Hershey's one. The Hershey's smells pretty much the same as Aero. If you blind tested me between Aero and Hershey's, I couldn't tell a difference. But there's a difference between these two. Really mild difference, but this one smells more like candy. It's more sugary, smells like sugar and candy. Whereas this one smells like milk and cream. So let's try the Hershey's taste. It tastes and smells pretty much the same as Aero. So Aero and Hershey's, I think they're using maybe the same ingredient, just a different press for chocolate. But you can tell that the President's Choice has its own recipe, and then these two have their own recipe, but maybe these two are the same, and this one's different. And the Hershey was $3.50. So we went from $2 to $2.50 to $3.50. Which brings us to the next one. I got these two out of order. This one's $4.20 for the Cadbury. So how does it look? I don't know. What's it supposed to look like? It smells like the Hershey's. It's like the same kind of sugar smell. So we got a trend between the Aero, the Hershey's, and the Cadbury. They all kind of have the same smell. But the Cadbury is like the Hershey, same kind of smell, but the sugar is toned down a little bit more, and I can smell milk a bit more. But I don't smell as much milk in this as I smell in the President's Choice. So this one's not 100% milk chocolate. I just realized it has a chocolatey cream in it, so that kind of threw me off. It doesn't taste as sugary and as candy-like. Like the Hershey's and the Aero has this artificial, like sugary candy taste to it that the President's Choice one doesn't really have that. Like it does, but it tastes a lot more like milk and cream, the President's Choice. The Cadbury one, it still has that sugary candy taste to it, but the milkiness is more forward. So that's, the next one is the, we got the Lindt for $4.60. So this one smells way different than the other ones. The Lindt, it has like this caramelly, butterscotchy, toffee smell to it. But it's milk chocolate, so it almost has like a sweet and sour smell. The texture is noticeably different. And taste is different, completely different flavor profile. You can tell that these three, the Aero, the Hershey's, and the Cadbury, I think these were made in the same factory. This one was made in its own factory, and this one was made in its own factory. These ones might not be made, like I don't know where these are made. It just tastes like they're all made in the same factory. But this one has its own thing going on. It has like, yeah, more of like a caramelly taste, more creamy. The texture is like way more silky. Like this one just melts in your mouth, whereas these ones you gotta chew them more. So this one's just creamier. Tastes more like, yeah, more of those caramel flavors coming through. Even though it's not a caramel chocolate, it's milk chocolate, but it has caramel notes, butterscotch. So this one brings us to Ritter Sport. This one was $4.70. This one's got a whole different shape, you know, just a little cube. It's got their little name imprinted on it with the machine. Doesn't smell like anything. I don't smell anything. Nothing. Yeah, I don't smell anything. This one just tastes like hard milk and a bit of sugar. You know how like when you're drinking milk, especially like 3.25, like homogenized milk, you get like that weird aftertaste, kind of milky taste in the back of your mouth, like in the roof, the back top roof of your mouth. I get like the same thing here. So if I look at the ingredients, it's probably just milk and sugar. Yeah, it's just milk, sugar, and a little bit of cocoa, hazelnut paste. So it looks like this one's a lot less ingredients in this one than the other one so far. This one might be the closest to real chocolate, I guess, or real. They're all real chocolate, but like, know what I mean? This is like just milk, sugar, and cocoa. With a couple filler factory ingredients, you know. And then we got famous Ferrero. They don't have a milk chocolate line, so I just have to go with milk hazelnut. That's the closest I can get. So this one, I don't think will mark as fairly as the other ones, but I'll do my best. So this one's $4.80. Smells like hazelnuts. Obviously, it tastes like hazelnuts, but a lot of sugar. It tastes a lot of sugar with that hazelnut. I taste a little bit of chocolate coming through. You can feel the chocolate more. It's more of like you feel that you're eating chocolate because it's creamy, it's milky, and it's soft, and it's like chocolatey. But the taste of chocolate is definitely amplified by a lot of sugar. So you get a lot of chocolate, you get a lot of hazelnut, and a lot of sugar. And it's good. It's good. I love Ferrero. It's hard to be fair because this one has hazelnut, the other ones don't have hazelnut, so it's not really fair to compare them. Brings us to our Laderach, our $10 chocolate bar. So this one's wrapped up, I guess. Oh, I wasn't expecting this. Look at that. Huh. It's got their name on here. It's got like this like mini Toblerone kind of thing going on. Let's try it out. Smells like sugar and milk. Creamy sugar. So, it tastes like solid milk again, like solid milk and sugar. It has kind of the same or similar flavor profile to this Ritter. Because this Ritter one wasn't super sugary. It's more milky, like it tastes like you're eating milk with like a little bit of sugar and chocolate in it. And that's kind of what this is. But this one tastes more sweeter than this one. But aside from that, I'm getting some butterscotch notes from this. So there is that. It does have a little bit, like a hint of notes that Lindt has with that caramelly butterscotch taste to it. It's kind of like a mix between the Lindor and the Ritter Sport. So that one's kind of a mix between these two. For $10, more than double the price of these two. I don't notice a huge difference. I think the way it looks is really cool. But as far as like the texture, the flavor, the taste, it pretty much just, if these two had a kid, so with that being said, let's move on to the star of the show. This was $40. So there's this one with the dried cranberries on it, and it's just milk chocolate surrounding the cranberries. So I'm just gonna take a bite of just the milk chocolate. Tastes like sugar, or smells like sugary milk. Bit of butter. Tastes like a real fresh milk. my cat here. Yeah. Tastes milky, creamy, buttery, sugary. There's nothing about it that's like, this one's way more than the other ones. I mean, obviously, I would say these three taste like candy. The Hershey, Cadbury, and Aero, they taste like candy. The President's Choice one, the $2.50 one versus the $40 one. The President's Choice tastes way more sugary than these ones. These ones taste way more sugary than the President's Choice one. Almost like the more expensive you get, the less sugar there is, and the more it's just like pure. Like the $10 one and this $4.80 one, they both just taste like milk and sugar and chocolate. The $10 one tastes a little more, has the caramelly taste of the Lindor, but it still tastes more like milk than the Lindor does. And the $40 one, I mean, it was probably $40 because we had nuts in it, pistachios, and all this shit in it. So it's also handmade. So someone made that. It's like local artisanal chocolate. So there's that. But overall, I think there's not a huge difference. I mean, they're all chocolate. And that was a lot of fun. So thanks for watching.